Together, a piercing codependency allegory with plenty of purposeful body horror set pieces and a wicked sense of humor. Debuting feature filmmaker Michael Shanks grasps what makes love so thoroughly frightening on a deep level. The primary question on this movie's mind goes something like this. What if you're safely settled into the relationship that you always wanted, but you're somehow growing apart and alone? Real-life couple Dave Franco and Alison Brie bring a stunning amount of lived-in authenticity and tension to Tim and Millie, couple at that crossroads after a years-long togetherness. Unless they figure out how to unite in the truest way possible, they run the risk of losing one another. They start with a change of location. She's scored a hard-to-come-by new job as a school teacher in the country, and he's that 30-something musician still waiting for his big break, while his significant other supports his dreams. So they are leaving it all behind for a life in the sticks. Shanks is such an efficient character builder on the page that we immediately get the sense of these two, especially Tim. We wonder early on whether he might have reached a point where he should rethink things. Maybe he isn't just one killer gig away from bigger things. Maybe he should just cut his losses and quit. Still, Tim and Millie are hopeful that their upcoming move will help them save some stuff, some money, some sanity, and maybe even them as a couple. Plus, it's not a real goodbye. The two insists in a white lie. Every person moving from the city to the country must tell themselves in order to take the plunge, except with Tim lacking a driver's license and relying on a busy Millie to drive him to the train station, things aren't as simple as they seem. Further complicating the matters is Tim's hesitation and delayed when Millie pops the question at the party in front of everyone. Does he still want this? The move, the commitment, a future together? Creepy discovery nesting in the house's ceiling, and the appearance of a Chekhov's gun in the form of a reciprocating saw later. A freak incident in the early days of the move propels the couple's problems in freakish ways on a nearby height. Tim and Millie fall to an in-ground cave with a design reminiscent of Alien and decide to take shelter there overnight due to bad weather. But mysterious things start happening after the accident, events that Shanks studiously dials up in intensity. For starters, Tim experiences frequent episodes that look like self-destructive seizures, bad for his joints and bones, but good for their sex life. Apparently, just wait for one of the most thrilling bathroom stall trysts cinema has given us thus far. And it doesn't stop there. There is now a pull between the two, something soul-splitting, gooey sticky and limb-shattering. You will figure it out just in time and promptly buckle up for two of the year's most impressively physical performances, with plenty of stylish nods to Cronenberg and Pastures as well as John Carpenter's The Thing in well-executed set pieces that feel like an event. What Franco and Brie pull off here in bending, twisting, stretching and uniting their bodies, with the help of some truly stunning practical and visual effects, is a fiendishly fun sight to behold. Also noteworthy is Damon Harriman's performance as Jamie, Millie's kindly co-worker and the duo's friendly neighbor, who sometimes witnesses more troubles than he should in the couple's union. Across smartly written and deeply relatable scenes, Harriman brings an uneasy sense of sweetness and mystique to the role that's hard to pin down, but easy to revel in. Together is best not to be spoiled, but experienced instinctively with the same blind faith we tend to put in every worthwhile relationship. And what's a worthwhile relationship, if not partly the sum of certain defining moments in Tim and Millie's relationship? One of those defining moments happen in the aforementioned cave, when a severely dehydrated Tim drinks from a seedy well that we all instantly know that he shouldn't. But at times, that's exactly the kind of thing you can't help but do in a committed relationship. It's wrong in retrospect, and yet you did it anyway. It takes real commitment to survive a string of those questionable decisions inside a relationship where you forget where you end and your other half begins. Rest assured, finding out whether an on-screen couple have what it takes has rarely felt this cutting and ultimately this rewarding.